morning students. I welcome all of you in the series of online lectures presented by Sri Shivaji Vidya Mandir and Junior College on Pune. In the previous sessions we discussed different kinds of topics from the grammar, like the study of modal auxiliary verbs, the study of voice, the transformation of active voice into passive voice. Moreover, we also discussed few poems, appreciation of the poem in the previous sessions. Students, today in this session we are going to deal with one of the significant topics from the grammar. The title of the topic is how to frame WH question if a sentence is given with a particular underlined part in the activity sheet. So students, framing WH question is the vital topic in the grammar of English language. So this topic of framing WH question is not only significant just to frame WH question, but also important to prepare to frame a draft of interview, which is one of the significant writing skills in the section 3 writing skills. So students, at both the levels, to frame WH question and to prepare a draft of interview, this topic, how to frame WH question, is very significant. Students, before we begin the actual topic, how to frame WH question, you need to have the pre-knowledge of few things in English language. So which are these few things? You need to have the knowledge of these things. So before we start, before we begin how to frame WH question, so let us discuss these important things you need to understand. So let us have the look at the list of these things. We will discuss all the things one after another. Students, there are actually three types of questions. The first type of question is yes-no type question, which is also known to be verbal question. The second type of question is WH question, which we are going to discuss in this session. And the third type of question is rhetorical question. We will discuss it in the next session. So let us first discuss which are these different things you need to understand before framing the WH question. Students, the first thing you need to understand is that what is WH question? WH question is that question which is asked to get or seek information from the listener. So this is how WH question is defined. Second point we need to understand while framing the WH question is that how many WH words are there in English language. Students, generally we use 11 WH words to frame WH question. I mean, these 11 WH words are used to frame the WH question to get the information from the listener. Third point I would like to clarify here is that if there are 10 WH words in English language, which are these WH words? Students, let us see the list of WH words which are used to frame WH questions. What, who, whom, whose, when, where, which, why, how many, how much. So these are 11 WH words which are generally used to frame WH questions in English language. The fourth point which WH word is used for what purpose is very significant to frame the WH question. For example, as we have seen 10 WH words which are used to frame WH questions. So, for what purpose these WH words are used? So, let us see the first WH word, what is used when we talk about things or ideas. The second WH word is who, which is used to talk about a person which is as a subject. The third WH word is whom, which is also used to talk about a person which is used as the object of the sentence. The fourth WH word is whose, which is also used to talk about or to get information about a person. Here, something is in the possession of somebody, so in that case we use the WH word whose. The next WH word is when, which is used to get information about the time. The next WH word is where, which is used to talk about or to get information about the place. The next WH word is which is used to get information about things or ideas. The eighth WH word is how, which is used to talk about the manner. The next WH word is how many, which is used to mention the quantity which is countable. And the last WH word is how much, which is also used to talk about the quantity which is uncountable. So students, in this way, for different purposes, we make the use of these 10 WH words. Let us come to the next point. The next point is, does WH question have specific structure? Students, when we frame any WH question, each WH question has specific structure, and therefore the answer of this question is in affirmative form. Students, if the answer of the question, does WH question have specific structure, is in affirmative form, then what type of structure do we normally use to frame WH question? Students, we first concentrate on the underlined part in the sentence. After identifying the underlined part, we select the correct WH word. WH word is followed by the helping verb as per the tense of the original sentence. Then the helping verb is followed by the subject of the sentence. Then we write the rest of the part of the sentence in the question. So we do not include the underlined part in the WH question, since the underlined part is an answer of that question which we frame. So this is how the structure of WH question is used to frame the question. Students, don't forget to write the question mark at the end of the WH question. Students, the last point is framing WH question requires knowledge of all tenses. Students, I have assumed that you have thorough knowledge of all tenses in English language. Let me make clear one point here, is that if you don't have sufficient knowledge of tenses and their patterns in English language, I would suggest you to study first of all all the tenses and their patterns. The study of tense and their patterns will help you to frame different types of WH questions. So in this way, we have discussed all the basic things or requirements which we need to frame WH question. In the next session, we will see the actual process of framing the WH questions. So students, I hope you understood what I discussed in this lecture. So I conclude my lecture here. I stop here. Thank you.